So we have to do one more thing to be able to collect on referrals, recommendations, and even repeat business.
Yeah.
And that one more thing.
Hold on, Chris. Before you get to it, I was going to say it ain't picking up the phone any longer.
No.
This is the thing, is that we in real estate are so afraid of picking up the phone and calling everybody in our database or cold calling or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? Put the phone down. If you shot the video, put the phone down.
Yeah. Just use like Facebook Messenger, right? So that's what makes Facebook Messenger so awesome. And Gary, technically you're not putting the phone down. It's just you're not putting it to your head. You're putting it in front of your hands and you're starting to text. Or if you want to make life easier, use the desktop version of Facebook Messenger and copy and paste. And all you're going to copy and paste is, hey, how you doing? I just wanted to check in and see what's going on. You're not going to.
Well, let's take a look at an example of this here, Chris, because that's what I've been doing. And I've told you, I said, we need to find an alternative for for all of our students to have what you coined phone-free lead generation, right? So it's phone call-free lead generation. So we're like, well, how do we do this? What we do is we get on our laptop and we private message people on Facebook. And this is exactly what happened. This is a past client of mine. His name just so happens to be Chris as well. And here's the message that you send out. Hey, Chris, we have not spoken in a while, and I wanted to check in and see how things are going. That's all I said. And by the way, what you do is you take that message, except for their name, copy, paste, and you just message hundreds of people on Facebook, and this is the response. He said, hey man, wow, so weird. I was just thinking about you. I even went over to your social media, blah, blah, blah. We're doing good, heading to San Antonio this weekend. How about you? What you been up to? And this created an opportunity for me to open dialogue about them. If are they interested in selling or buying real estate, and then continuing the conversation by using what Chris and I like to call the magic phrase.
Which is, whether you do this in person or whether you're doing this through conversation, is simply, tell me more about that.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing is, I think in real estate, we are taught by the old guard to tell everybody what we can do for them, to tell everybody how awesome we are, to tell everybody how we're producing and how we're out producing everybody. Instead, what's in it for them? We need to discover who are they, what are their specific concerns, what's important to them, and then how can I help them? Then what happens is that relationship shifts. And the way that you really dig deep and dive down and to find out what is really important to them is you ask questions, and anytime they respond, you can always use this magic phrase to dig deeper, and that is, gosh, can you tell me more about that?
And if they are either one of two things, if they themselves are in the market to move, or they know somebody who is, it's actually okay to say something along these lines. You know, how long have you been in your home, and have you thought of moving in the future? In fact, the first time that I heard Gary say this surprised the crap out of me. I'll be honest. We were sitting in the office one day, and I forget, we were getting ready to do some work together, but he was over off on the side on his phone, and he's talking to one of his past clients, and I think his name is Sean, and he was like, hey, he's talking, and they're talking about like random stuff, and all of a sudden Gary says, well, have you thought of moving? And I was like, what? You know, like it seemed like it was out of the blue. He was like,
I remember this call. Well, I was on the phone with Sean, and he's talking about how they're doing, but gosh, you know what? The kids are getting bigger, and you know, it just seems like the house is getting smaller the bigger the kids get. And I heard that, and I was like, well, have you thought about moving? Because you know, right now is a prime time to take care of that situation. We can find you a house that is much larger and suits your family better. Are you available this weekend to get together to talk about that?
You know, and whether that's happening through text or through Messenger, or even if you do choose to pick up the phone and call and reach out to folks, here's what happens, right? All of that work to be able to make sure that we've made it easy for people to refer, recommend, and remember that they want to work with us in the future, right? That's constantly happening because the information that we're sending out, the type and format of the information that we're sending out, the consistency and frequency in which we're sending out, and then just taking that one last little step, which is copy and paste, hey, how you doing? And dropping that into a tool like Messenger and making that individual connection. Because you guys already know this, as much as we would like to have this one-to-many relationship, we all know that real estate is relational. It's a relationship that gets cultivated and built because we're providing service. And the only way to really cement that relationship, right, so that it's a high quality customer. I'm not talking about someone who's asking you to negotiate your fees, is if you have somebody where you've got that relationship and they respect you, right? They respect your expertise. They place a premium on your expertise.